Alright, what's up everyone? This is Ryan here and you are watching Crypto Grinders. In today's live market update, we will be covering the overall cryptocurrency markets and the top Ethereum developer, or one of the top Ethereum developers, has just rage quit from Ethereum. We're going to be also covering NASDAQ's Bitcoin index release, and we noticed that the funds as in short funds are actually reducing to a 6-month low. So we're going to cover all that in this episode. So welcome guys. We are now looking at the overall cryptocurrency markets at the moment. We are looking at a market cap of 132 billion, which we have managed to kind of solidify for now, and we are already noticing a kind of a correction happening in the market at the moment. 24-hour volume is at 33.1 billion, and the BTC dominance currently stands at 52.1%. Now, the top 5 cryptocurrencies at the moment in terms of market cap are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, EOS, and Litecoin. And in terms of the 24-hour change, we have Bitcoin having a marginal gain of 0.07%. Ethereum, on the other hand, is down 2.24%. Ripple is down 0.75%. EOS is down 2.57%, and Litecoin is down 1.11%. So the top gainers in the past 24 hours are Binance Coin at 9.31%, Maker Coin at 8.87%, Aurora at 7.11%, Sentiment Net at 4.6%, and Stellar at 4.51%. This is one of the top losers for the past 24 hours are 6%, PundiX at 6%, Link at 5.92%, Aeon at 5.29%, and Odom at 4.84%, and we have Project Pi at 4.77%. Right? So right now we are going to go into the charts, guys. As of now, we're looking at Bitcoin standing at $3,880. We are looking at the RSI. It has already reached the overbought region, and it looks to me like it's tapering off. Volume wise, it's still a little bit too early in the day to kind of determine that. Then again, if you think about it, crypto is a 24/7 365-day a week. It's very hard to tell the day from night, because it may be my morning, it may be your evening, and it's perpetually always running, guys. So at the moment, I would say that a lot of traders have been taking profit, as I mentioned just a few hours ago, that the markets were kind of the bears and the bulls were definitely going to be fighting at the $4,000 mark. It did briefly touch $4,000, but then after that it started to taper off. So the day is beginning slightly below 3,900, and we hope to see it at least consolidate and not return back to the 3.6 levels. In terms of the Bitcoin halving, so the Bitcoin halving is 459 days away. I think everybody is anticipating that the reward drop will happen on the 24th of May 2020. If you're wondering where did we get this calculator, and you can just go to www.bitcoinblockhalf.com. In terms of USD against Ethereum, so Ethereum on the other hand wasn't able to really reach the $150 mark. Well, it kind of depends. I guess it did, and then after that it obviously will correct. $150 mark is a round number, everyone, and I think take profits were all set at $150. Some were probably ambitiously set at $160. If you obviously bought Ethereum during the periods when it was around the $80, $90, you would already have made a very significant return. But these days, because we are still in the bear market, you're not going to enjoy that significant return. But if you think about it, anyone who has been accumulating Ethereum during the the $80 region to the $100 region to even the $120 region are all enjoying nice significant profits. So right now, in terms of the charts, on the other hand, RSI is already on the and this is on the daily, guys. The RSI is already on the overbought region. Same thing, tapering off with OBV, which is the on-base volume, also starting to dip. So we're going to probably see a dip back down. We are looking at the levels of about $130. Hopefully it consolidates around there to kind of give Ethereum a nice safe bet that it no longer dips below the $120 mark. So that would be the support level that you probably want to be looking at. Next, we will look at Litecoin. Now, Litecoin, I've noticed a little bit of a pattern, and I sincerely hope that most cryptocurrencies will return back to the chaos dip. Well, the chaos dip kind of happened. I mean, obviously, if you look at the chaos dip of the early 2018, it will not be as significant as. It's still definitely significant, right? Because we saw the dip happen, but then there was an unexpected dip that happened in November. Okay, and that dip was, assuming it was a kind of a period of less than 3 months, and then there was a dip further down. I noticed that there are some cryptocurrencies that are actually recovering back to the November, prior to the pre-November 13 dip. So if we see cryptocurrencies at least reach and sustain above this level, right, it's going to be a good sign to start accumulating, especially if you've been sitting out at the sidelines. You kind of missed the whole period where it was anticipated that okay, it's going to go lower, you know, maybe Litecoin to $10 or whatnot. Right now, it seems that at least most cryptocurrencies, especially Litecoin, is returning to those highs. Now, back to Ethereum, I forgot to mention. Ethereum, you are looking at above $200. Bitcoin, on the other hand, has to go back to $6,000, at least $6,000, right? Or at least 6,400 to kind of safely say that it's on the path towards recovery. So Litecoin, I must say Litecoin is almost reaching. That means it has to sit at the $50 mark and stay consolidated and supported at $50. So that's the mark that you'll be looking at. And for Litecoin fans, obviously the halving will be 168 days away. Tentatively, the reward drop will be 7th of August. So that's something to look forward to. Would it be a good time to start accumulating Litecoins? Perhaps, right? But at the end of the day, this is non-financial advice. Whatever you decide to do is entirely up to you, and please do your own research. Now, in terms of EOS on the other hand, in terms of the 1 hour, well, same thing. When Bitcoin starts to correct, guys, every single cryptocurrency is going to experience the same retracements, as they say. But EOS has been showing extremely crazy growth, crazy momentum, right? And this is one thing good about the cryptocurrency space. Despite the fact that it still has a significant market cap, it still shows a lot of volume and market movement, and I think this space still offers a lot of opportunities for traders, especially. It's nice to see a very significant pump up from 240 in a matter of less than 2 weeks. From 240 it goes up to 280, and from 280 it goes all the way to the high of almost 387, almost 390. And then obviously there's a lot of take profit happening, and then you see this large wick here, and we are now seeing this little candle here. It's a little bit early to determine the form, but it looks like a doji, so we'll observe it for a little bit. In terms of correction and retracement, it's a bit hard to say, because this large dip that happened, of course, same thing, it happened during the November period. Okay, so it's a little bit too early to tell where it will consolidate. Obviously, everyone is saying, oh, okay, $3 would be good. I don't and I hope I don't see $3 because usually when you see such a large candle, right, you expect probably a 30% to 40% retracement for cryptocurrencies. So if you're saying 30% retracement, it would be somewhere around here, so about 330. So that's kind of like where we're at the moment. Ripple fans, right? The centralized payment channel, right, at the moment, Ripple fans are obviously having a little bit of a correction as well. Same thing. We are also anticipating for the fact that it's going to be holding, it should hold around the current point, okay? As long as it holds around the current point, well, it doesn't really look like a triple bottom. There doesn't seem to be much volume supporting it to go up much more. In fact, there probably it's a higher chance of a retracement rather than more upside. But looking at Ripple's charts, right, you actually see a nice range that you can work with. So for example, you're looking at anywhere from, if you're trading the wicks, you're actually looking at the 31 cents region and of course to 35 cents. So you have this 4 to 5 cent range that you can work with, and the 4 to 5 cents based on Ripple's price at the moment is anywhere from 6 to actually 9%, which is pretty decent also if you think about it. Now, of course, we have the death-defying act of Binance at 1061 at the moment. In terms of whatever that's going on for it, well, I guess because they brought in the BTT, because in order for you to buy BTT, you had to purchase Binance. So maybe there's some buying activity or death-defying activity because of the BTT token. In terms of the dividend, probably they're going to be paying out their dividends or whatever in terms of requirements. I'm not entirely sure why Binance is just going up all the time. Like I said, it's always death-defying, and it's always good to be an exchange. If you had bought Binance coin anywhere below 650, right, and you notice there's a strong uptrend momentum, you are definitely already have doubled up in terms of your investment as of today in less than a month. That is how crazy this space is, guys. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for Huobi tokens. Huobi dipped to a low of 93 cents. Let me check. The low of 92 cents. And as of now, it's kind of recovering. I don't see Huobi having much activity as of now because they've always been taking a very, very conservative approach. In terms of market movement, I would say at the moment they have actually moved out of their Singapore office, guys. So since they moved out of their Singapore office, or planning to move out of the Singapore office, unfortunately, it just goes to show that the company is downsizing and being a little bit more conservative on it's a little bit more conservative on its approach at the moment. And I think it hurts the cryptocurrency markets as a whole, right? Everyone's kind of downsizing. I think Binance is the only one that seems to be hiring folks at the moment and expanding its team. So this is the reality of stuff. But Huobi actually just airdropped their win-win fund. So that was pretty nice. We were able to receive some so-called payouts from the revenue that they earned from last quarter. And it's still being given. Take note, there is also the Huobi Pool token, which is their own chain token that if you're interested in doing staking and mining, you can have a look at that. In terms of availability on whether it's available for the US citizens, I think that is not available, but for the rest of the world, HPT tokens are available for purchase. Now, to cover the top stories, which is the top Ethereum developer Afri Shodan that just rage quit. Now, this to me, as someone who is investing, obviously if we lose a top performer or a top tech person in the company, it's usually pretty detrimental and doesn't really mean well for the overall community. Obviously there's certain things that are that this individual disagrees with, and I think in terms of the direction, it didn't really sit well with him. So in this post or in his Twitter, he says, "I did not quit social media. I quit Ethereum. I did not go dark. I just left the community. I am no longer coordinating hard forks, building testnets, or contributing otherwise. I did not work on Polkadot. I never did. I worked on Ethereum. I did not hate Ethereum. I loved it." So there seems to be, I guess in terms of the community feels that, is he leaving because he's being rash, and it seems to be affecting the community. So I'm not sure in terms of the price action, has it sunk in yet? Will it even matter? Because Ethereum at the end of the day still is an open source community, and a lot of people and developers are always continuously developing on it. I'm not sure whether it is is a loss for the Ethereum community. Let me know in the comments below, especially if you're a developer. How does it affect you? And do you feel that this person's contributions have been significant? I'm sure it is, because it is the top developer. It's something like when ETC lost their main developer team, which is, I think, the Grothendieck team, that was focusing on the ETC platform, right? And because they could not continue to find funding, they closed down, guys. So this is kind of like the case that's happening at the moment. I sincerely hope that doesn't happen to Ethereum. But when you lose the top guy in your company, right, it is a concern. It is a concern, and usually it doesn't reflect very well for the prices. Now the next thing is NASDAQ's index. So just so you know, an index is basically a measure of the market, right? And usually why indexes are created is for the purpose of allowing you to benchmark, or at least allow a manager to beat its performance, and the manager usually has to pit their performance against an index. So in this case, let's say for example, if a manager utilizes a fund, if a manager is running a fund, and we're talking about fund managers here, right? They have to benchmark their performance on how they manage the fund against something. So in this case, an index allows you to do that. Also, you can also invest in an index, and hence you have index funds. So in this case, NASDAQ is of course planning to likely have a precursor to crypto investment products. This will kind of open up the floodgates for the fiat investors, and of course there will be more eyeballs, more exposure. But it's good to see that NASDAQ is at least starting out. I think it has two indexes that it's looking for approval. So it is called the BLX and the ELX. And it could serve as the base prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum for regulated investment vehicles in the long term. This is just one of those things, right? It's just like the OTC, ETF, and sincerely, whenever that decides to be approved, definitely it will help. Then there will be two schools of thought. There will be folks who will only stick to trading on NASDAQ and derivative products on NASDAQ that have no Bitcoin delivery. And the whole idea of what they're claiming is that, well, there's not enough liquidity in the market at the moment. The existing exchanges are manipulating the prices, and this is, by the way, all clearly written here, right? On how they feel. So as you can see, okay, so speaking to CNBC in November of last year, SEC Chairman Jay Clayton further emphasized that cryptocurrencies have become free from the risk of manipulation, and until the issue is assessed, have to become free from the risk of manipulation, and until the issue is addressed, an ETF will not be approved. And at the same time, there was this paragraph in the article stating that you probably need so liquidity is key. So a former Citi and Allianz executive, Wang Hyun-shol, sounds Korean, said that the cryptocurrency market still does not have a stable level of liquidity and market size for both institutional and retail investors. Most investment vehicles are pending approval in the US, are targeted at retail investors, and for their success, large liquidity and a reliable source of price is key. So guys, I guess we are still kind of far away from whatever adoption and investment vehicles, big money, but the infrastructure is definitely being built as we speak. And of course, last but not least, in terms of today's episode, is funds in short positions on Bitcoin dropped to a 6-month low. So that's good, right? It just goes to show that less and less funds are being dedicated to short positions. And I think with the recent spike, right, a lot of the bear market cultists, right? The bear market cultists, and the ones that are stating that, oh, we're gonna see 2,000, we're gonna see 2,005, we're gonna see 1,002. If they clearly put their money where their mouth was, most likely they would have already lost their money, because the Bitcoin price actually went up pretty aggressively. If they are only adding positions, and obviously if they were trading a little bit on the less aggressive side, probably their positions are still intact, not liquidated. But who knows, right? In this market, it's always very, very volatile. You never know what Bitcoin's price will do, and at the same time, we could be range bound between the $3,000 level all the way until the $4,000, even $6,000 level. But you know what? 2019 just started. There's still a good 3 quarters for you to work with. So yeah, let's just see how it turns out. So I hope you enjoyed the live update and the live stream. We'll catch you in the next episode, guys. See you.